Hold up and do not scroll away, because what is happening right now between Xiao Zhan and Dylan Wang has sent shockwaves through fandom spaces across the globe. And if you think this is just another routine casting announcement, then stay with us until the very end, because insiders say this collaboration reopened old wounds, sparked frantic late-night calls, and forced several people from their past to relive memories they hoped were buried. Began with a leak. Not a polished press release. Not a studio poster. Just a blurry photo taken in a conference room. Two silhouettes. One leaning back with crossed arms. The other standing near a screen filled with concept art. Someone zoomed in. Enhanced the shadows. And there they were. Xiao Zhan, Dylan Wang. In the same room. At the same table. Looking far too serious for coincidence. Within minutes the image raced across platforms. Fan accounts froze. Reaction channels lit up. Comment sections overflowed. Because for years people whispered about tension. About rivalry. About complicated romantic overlap. About two stars whose names were rarely spoken together without igniting debate. Now, they were apparently building something. Together. By the time official confirmation came, it was already too late to contain the storm. A production company quietly added both names to a single project page. No dramatic captions. No teaser video. Just two lines on the same screen. Fans did the rest. People replayed old interviews. Paired clips side by side. Tracked timelines. Highlighted moments where their paths had crossed years ago. Every neutral smile suddenly looked loaded. Every offhand comment from the past took on new meaning. Inside the industry the mood was very different. Sources described a closed-door meeting at a luxury studio complex. Long table. Mood boards lining the walls. Concept sketches glowing on large monitors. Executives whispering. Assistants pretending not to listen. And in the center of it all, Xiao Zhan flipping through pages of a script. Dylan Wang studying a schedule printed in tight blocks. When they finally looked up at each other, the room reportedly went quiet. Not awkward, but charged. The kind of silence where everyone waits to see who speaks first. Dylan broke it. Looks ambitious. Xiao Zhan nodded. Very. Then added. That is why I said yes. Dylan raised an eyebrow. Just 2 words. But enough to make several producers exchange looks. Because this was not a casual pairing. This was deliberate. Calculated. Risky. Someone brave asked. You two are comfortable working together. Dylan smiled slightly. Comfortable is not the word. Xiao Zhan glanced at him. Interesting is closer. That line alone would have shattered the internet if it had leaked in real time. But it did not. What did leak was something far messier. According to insiders from 2 different agencies, phones started lighting up the moment the collaboration became public. Former partners. Old friends. People who once stood between them. All suddenly very curious. Very nervous. Very alert. One source claimed an ex of one of the actors demanded an emergency meeting with management. Another whispered that someone else removed photos from their social media pages within hours of the announcement. Coincidence? Maybe. Fans did not think so. Because the narrative was too perfect. 2 former rivals. One mysterious shared history. And now a joint project arriving out of nowhere. Reaction videos popped up with titles screaming shock. People debated motives. Was this a power move? Publicity gamble? Peace offering? Or something much deeper? Back on set, the collaboration was already underway. Table reads. Wardrobe fittings. Private choreography sessions. Late-night script revisions. Crew members reported that the two were professional, focused, almost intensely calm. No shouting. No visible tension. Just long, thoughtful discussions. Quiet jokes exchanged when no one was filming. And the occasional heavy pause when a scene description felt too close to real life. One assistant later said, "It was like watching two chess players who already know each other moves. They are polite, but they do not underestimate each other." During one rehearsal, Dylan reportedly questioned a line. Xiao Zhan countered with a different interpretation. They went back and forth. Calm voices. Sharp logic. The director watched, fascinated, then finally said, "Whatever this energy is, keep it." That is exactly what the project needs. Meanwhile, outside the studio gates, fans camped for glimpses. Phones held high, waiting for proof. And when the first photos surfaced of the two walking out of the same building 10 minutes apart, wearing caps, heads down, people lost their minds. Screenshots flooded timelines. Zoom arrows appeared. Commentary exploded. Some celebrated, calling it iconic. Others worried, saying old drama was about to resurface. Then came the rumor wave. Anonymous posts claiming private conversations had happened. That one of them had reached out first. That there were conditions attached to the partnership. That certain names from the past were explicitly off-limits during promotion. No one confirmed anything, which only made the speculation louder. One particularly viral post claimed, "This is not about art. This is about closure." Another responded, "Or revenge, or growth, or both." Inside sources kept repeating one thing. This project was chosen carefully. Not impulsively. Both actors had read the full outline, asked detailed questions, and insisted on creative control. That alone convinced many people this was not a stunt. It was a statement. At one late-night session, only a skeleton crew remained. City lights glowing through glass walls. Xiao Zhan sat on the edge of a table reading. Dylan paced with a coffee in hand. "This scene is brutal," Dylan muttered. Xiao Zhan replied, "That is why it works." Dylan looked at him. "You ever get tired of people rewriting your history?" Xiao Zhan did not answer immediately, then said, "I stopped trying to correct every version. Now I just focus on the next chapter." Dylan nodded slowly. "Maybe this is one of those." That quiet exchange later became legend among crew, because it felt symbolic. Two men acknowledging the noise, without letting it run the room. Phil. The internet refused to calm down. Every new behind-the-scenes photo, every shared location tag, every similar interview answer, was treated like evidence of something bigger brewing. Fans began speculating about how promotions would look. Joint interviews, red carpets, award show appearances. Would they sit next to each other? Would they joke? Would they avoid personal questions? And what about the people from their past? The ones whose names fans still connect to both men. Insiders claim at least one former partner was furious. Another reportedly laughed it off in public while making frantic calls in private. One quietly postponed a scheduled appearance. Fuel for even more theories. The truth, as always, lived somewhere between silence and spectacle. What is undeniable is this. Two of the most watched stars in the industry chose to stand in the same project, knowing exactly what it would stir. Knowing exactly how the internet works. And they did it anyway. Which means whatever is coming next, they believe it is worth the chaos. So what really pushed Xiao Zhan and Dylan Wang into the same room? Who made the first move? And how will their shared history shape what unfolds on screen? If you want the next part of this story, the behind-the-scenes moment that reportedly sealed the deal and the reaction from someone neither of them expected, then stay close because this collaboration has only just begun and the biggest revelation may still be waiting in the wings.